Stop whatever you're doing. Because what I'm about to tell you will either rewire your entire life, or keep you trapped for the next 10 years. No middle ground. No second chances. 3 days ago I watched a man spend 20 minutes explaining himself to someone who never respected him, begging for understanding from a person who didn't deserve a single second of his attention. And that's how most people live. They talk, justify, and beg, because they were trained to. You're not weak because you were born that way. You're weak because the world trained you to be predictable, so you could be controlled. Your confidence was edited out of you like a bad line in a script. Your instincts were replaced with guilt. Your self-respect was replaced with apologies. But 5 centuries ago, one man, Niccolò Machiavelli, tore the mask off society and revealed the real rules. Not the pretty moral slogans. The actual principles that govern power, strength, and survival. In this video, I'm going to show you how those principles still rule your life today, and how to use them to become unshakable. He wrote the handbook for becoming unstoppable, the one society hopes you'll never read. Imagine walking into a room and the energy shifts. You don't say a word, yet everyone adjusts to you. Your silence has gravity. Your presence commands attention. That's not luck. That's programming, the right kind of programming. Today you'll learn the first law of that program. Transform your inner self before you try to conquer anything outside. Inside you, 2 men are fighting. One is timid, apologetic, eager to please, desperate for approval. The other is calm, certain, anchored, and immune to opinions. Every decision you make feeds one and starves the other. When you over-explain yourself, you feed the slave. When you enforce a boundary without explaining, you feed the king. Your timid self was manufactured by teachers who rewarded obedience. Parents who praised quietness. And a society that values manageable men over dangerous thinkers. But manageable men don't build empires, they maintain other people's. When you feel guilty for saying no, that's your timid self talking. When you explain your boundaries to someone who already crossed them, that's your timid self begging for mercy. Machiavelli wrote, "He who is not master of himself will forever serve another." Read that again. You don't need permission to be respected. You need to decide you deserve it. Transformation doesn't start with rage. It starts with choice. Every time you apologize for existing, you choose submission. Every time you withhold apology when you've done nothing wrong, you choose command. Every time you let silence speak for you, you train the world to listen harder. Tomorrow someone will test you, they'll interrupt you, dismiss you, or doubt you. That's your moment. That's when the timid self tries to take back control. Pause. Breathe. Let the confident self answer instead. He won't explain. He won't plead. He'll just act. When you stop chasing approval, the world starts offering it. Because scarcity creates value. Stop being everywhere, stop talking to everyone, stop sharing everything. You'll notice something strange, people will start leaning in. They'll feel the shift but won't be able to name it. That's power. Remember the man at the beginning, the one explaining himself for 20 minutes? He wasn't weak because he had no power. He was weak because he kept giving it away with every word. Every sentence was a receipt of submission. When you cut those receipts in half, when you say less, explain less, apologize less, the world starts treating you differently. Not because you became arrogant, but because you became rare. From this moment on, everything you do is training. How you stand. How you speak. How you delay your responses. Stand like a man who owns his time. Speak like someone whose words are expensive. Wait like someone who knows patience is a weapon. Your old self will fight back. It will whisper, people won't like this new you. Good. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be remembered. Feed the confident self. Starve the timid one. Because the battle for power doesn't start in the world outside. It starts in the world behind your eyes. And whoever wins there, controls everything else. Every man wants peace, until life punches him in the face. Then he realizes peace isn't given. It's built. Most people think strength is muscles, money, or confidence. They're wrong. True strength starts in a place no one can see, your mind. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a fortress mind, the kind Machiavelli described as a citadel no enemy can storm. Because until your mind becomes unbreakable, the world will keep breaking you. Your mind is a battlefield. Every insult, betrayal, and failure is an incoming attack. And most men, they leave their gates wide open. They let opinions invade. They let emotions overthrow logic. They let self-doubt burn everything they've built. They react instead of respond. They feel instead of think. They survive instead of command. But you're not most men. You're going to construct walls so strong that no insult, no betrayal, no failure will ever reach your throne again. The fortress mind doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you stop letting feelings control you. It's not emotionless, it's emotion-proof. Pain still hits, but it doesn't shape your decisions. Fear still whispers, but it doesn't dictate your path. Doubt still knocks, but it finds no open door. Machiavelli wrote, "A wise man acts in the present, shaping the future. Only the fool reacts to it." The fortress mind is proactive, never reactive. It observes, calculates, and waits. Because waiting is power. Let's compare the two. The weak mind gets criticized, and collapses. The fortress mind gets criticized, and gathers data. The weak mind is shocked by betrayal. The fortress mind expects it, and already has a counter-strategy. The weak mind fears rejection. The fortress mind knows rejection is redirection. You can't be mentally fragile and expect to lead, love, or win. Because the world doesn't stop throwing punches, it just gets more creative. To build your fortress mind, you need 3 pillars. 1. Awareness. 2. Discipline. 3. Interpretation. Let's break them down. Pillar 1. Awareness. Most people don't even know what's going on inside their own heads. They're emotional puppets, reacting to invisible strings. Someone criticizes them, and their ego panics. Someone ignores them, and their insecurity screams. Someone rejects them, and their value collapses. Awareness means stepping outside that chaos. Watching your own thoughts like a chess player observing the board. When anger rises, awareness whispers, "Don't move yet." When fear grows, awareness says, "This is data, not danger." When pain hits, awareness asks, "What is this trying to teach me?" You stop drowning in your thoughts, and start directing them. Pillar 2. Discipline. A mind without discipline is a kingdom without soldiers. It might look peaceful, until the first attack. Discipline means controlling what enters and exits your mental gates. Not every emotion deserves a reaction. Not every thought deserves attention. Not every person deserves access. The disciplined mind pauses before it speaks, acts, or believes. It delays gratification. It observes before trusting. It holds silence when others beg for answers. You become unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. Pillar 3. Interpretation. You can't always control what happens. But you can control how you define it. Disappointment isn't punishment, it's information. Failure isn't final, it's feedback. Pain isn't suffering, it's signal. Weak men ask, "Why me?" Fortress-minded men ask, "What now?" That small difference changes everything. Your emotions are not your enemies. They're messengers, badly misunderstood ones. Anger means someone crossed your line, so set a new one. Fear means growth is coming, so prepare, not panic. Sadness means something mattered, so redirect, don't retreat. When you treat emotions as tools, not threats, you stop being their victim. You become their commander. At the start, I told you most men live in mental chaos. They react, they explode, they break. But when you build your fortress mind, everything changes. When someone insults you, you don't get angry, you get information. When someone betrays you, you don't fall, you adapt. When life hits you, you don't collapse, you recalculate. You turn pain into plans. Loss into leverage. Fear into foresight. And that's when people start saying, he's different. I can't figure him out. Good. You're not meant to be figured out. You're meant to be respected. Machiavelli didn't write about happiness, he wrote about stability. He didn't care if you felt good. He cared if you survived. He knew that peace built on emotions collapses the moment life gets loud. But peace built on discipline becomes unbreakable. That's why the most powerful people aren't the loudest, they're the calmest. Because chaos can't control what it can't disturb. Most men collapse when they're betrayed. You adapt. The people who disappointed you weren't your enemies, they were your teachers. Every lie revealed the truth. Every loss refined your focus. Every betrayal built your armor. Machiavelli said, "Men are quick to forget kindness, but never injury. So stop wishing for loyalty. Expect self-interest, and plan around it. When people show you who they are, don't cry. Take notes. Every time someone underestimates you, they hand you a weapon. Use it. Because your pain wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The weak defend. The powerful observe. When you stop explaining, you start controlling. Your silence makes people nervous because it forces them to wonder, what do you know that they don't?" Machiavelli wrote, "The lion doesn't need to roar to be feared. Every time you respond calmly when others rage, you become unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. Speak when it adds value. Stay silent when it builds mystery. Power isn't about truth, it's about belief. People don't care who you really are, they care what you look like. That's why reputation is your most dangerous weapon. Never let others define you through gossip or emotion. Craft your story so deliberately that even lies can't compete. When you look calm under chaos, people call you confident. When you appear disciplined under pressure, people call you destined. You're not faking, you're framing. You're not pretending, you're presenting. Because mystery earns respect faster than words ever will. Stop seeking motivation, build discipline. The world rewards consistency, not passion. The disciplined man looks ordinary until everyone else quits. Every time you show up when you don't want to, you're writing your legend in silence. That's how kings are built, not in speeches, but in repetition. Machiavelli said, "Fortune favors the disciplined. So keep showing up. Even when no one's clapping. Because the applause comes after the endurance. Now you understand, nobody can hold you back. Not because the world suddenly got fair. But because you stopped waiting for fairness. They can test you, doubt you, betray you, but they can't move you. Because you've already chosen the one power no one can take, self-command. You no longer chase respect, you command it. You no longer beg for validation, you generate it. You no longer fear being alone, because isolation became your empire. That's the Machiavellian truth. You don't conquer the world. You outlast it. If you've made it here, you're not ordinary. You're already thinking differently, strategically, dangerously. So keep going. Subscribe if you refuse to stay predictable. Comment, "No one can break me," if you felt the shift. Because this isn't a channel. It's a movement. And movements are led by the ones who can't be stopped.